Hello everyone. Today we are going to see a few more synchronization techniques which fall under advanced device driver category. The stuff that we have to see next from here onwards is atomic variables like semaphore variables. These are variables on which all the operations will be performed in an atomic manner. Bit manipulation, we have seen bit manipulation in C programming. So we have to do bit manipulation and learn to work on the bit level in device drivers also, followed by sequential locks and read copy updates, RCUs. Okay. So we'll start with atomic variables. Now these atomic variables are those variables on which the operation is performed atomically. For example, if you do I plus plus, well, that is not at all an atomic operation. I value has to be fetched from the memory, stored in accumulator, then supplied to the accumulator, the ALU. ALU will perform the incrementing task and then send it back to the register, and from register it will store it back into the memory. So there are many instructions inside a complete I++, which is not a atomic operation. So we have to make it atomic, that if an operation starts on the variable, then it must end and nothing should stop it in between. Okay, let me start the Jamboard for you guys. A new Jamboard. Start a new whiteboard. So hello Shrikant, hello Sanjeev. Good morning. Shrikant, good morning. Shrikant, are you able to understand what I'm explaining? Like, क्योंकि आपकी कुछ classes miss हो गई थी ना? समझ में आ रहा है आपको? Good. Now what happens is, whenever any instruction is executed, it works like this. Suppose this is an instruction. Cycle. Okay. Within this instruction, suppose you fetch the data from the memory, store it in a register, then send it to ALU, get back the result from ALU into register, then store it in memory. So these are divisions of the instruction cycle and are called machine cycles. Okay. So there are supposedly 5 machine cycles in an instruction cycle. Any instruction in which you have more than one machine cycle is prone to be non-atomic and could be hit by any interrupt in between the machine cycles. No interrupts can hit your process. No interrupt can hit your instruction during the machine cycle. Interrupts or signals or software interrupts or exceptions will hit your instruction during the in between the machine cycles, not during the machine cycles. So any instruction that have more than one machine cycles is prone to getting interrupted, prone to getting stopped, scheduled, or not perform atomic operations. We have to make it atomic. There are variables. These are atomic variables, are variables on which the operation is performed uninterrupted. Means these interrupts should not come during the execution of complete instruction cycle. Okay. Now we are not going to make instructions as atomic. No. We are not going to make the instruction as atomic. What are we going to make atomic is the variables. Variables. Variables will be made atomic. Okay? Then any operation that is performed on that variable will be performed atomically. Operations will be performed in one go, and these interruptions that you see would not come. Okay? If a shared resource is a simple integer, then incrementing it also would require locking. Simple operation like incrementing or decrementing the variable, unary operations also one of the simplest operations. These also require some kind of locking. The kernel provides an atomic integer data type called atomic underscore t. Now atomic underscore t is the data type which is used to make the variable as atomic. You want all the operations on a particular variable to be performed atomically, then the data type of this atomic underscore t variable or data type of that variable should be atomic underscore t, which is defined in ASM atomic.h. And atomic underscore t holds an integer value on all supported architectures. Now the data type for such variables is called atomic underscore t. This atomic underscore t variable is a 32-bit variable. Suppose this is lower and this is maximum scale. Then total it is 32-bit variable in size, out of which the lower 24 bits are used to store data, whereas the upper 8 bits are used to maintain atomicity. Okay, atomic underscore t. Full integer range may not be available. Atomic underscore t holds not more than 24 bits of data. The operations that are performed on the atomic underscore t variables are considered very fast, and they compile to a single machine instruction whenever possible, and there will be no interruption during the machine cycles. Usually they will compile as a single machine cycle, so that no interrupts come in between. Okay. Now, if your variable has been defined as atomic underscore t, it doesn't mean that atomic underscore t variable will store value just like that, and you will see the variable v is the atomic underscore t variable v, and you will say v is equal to 5. You can't store like that. You have to use macros like atomic underscore set to initialize the atomic variable with value integer I. So v is equal to 5 नहीं करेंगे, v is equal to I नहीं करेंगे. You will use atomic underscore set macro. This macro will first ensure that the instruction involving assigning I value to the v value must have compiled to a single machine cycle. If not, then it will disable all kind of interruptions for during the execution of this statement, and then assign the value of I to v, and then enable the interruptions back. It does this so as to maintain atomicity. Okay. Then you have atomic read, where you fetch the value out of this variable, okay, which returns the value as integer. Then you have atomic add, where the value of I is added to this variable. The return is nothing. The variable v is updated. The result is stored in variable v. Atomic subtract means subtract I from v, Okay. Then you have atomic increment, atomic decrement. Then you have atomic increment and test. What it will do is decrement and test, and then atomic subtract and test. Increment, decrement, and subtract. Subtract I from V. Okay. Now what happens is, after performing these operations, increment the value of I, and then test means return the value of I. First increment the value, then return the incremented value. Here first decrement the value and return the decremented value. Here first subtract the value I from V and then return the leftover value. If the resultant value after performing this operation, if the V turns out to be 0, if after performing these operations the V will be 0, then it will return true. If the V is non-zero, it will return false. V will obviously be updated after the operation, but at the same time the return value will be true or false. It will be true if the value of V becomes 0 after the operation is performed. Okay. Increment and test, decrement and test, subtract and test. I have explained you these three. Then you have atomic add negative. Now if you add I to V and after that V becomes negative, then it will return true. Means after adding I to V, V is negative now. Another is add and return, subtract and return, increment and return, decrement and return. So what you will do is you will add I to V, to subtract I from V, and the result will be returned back. Okay. Fine. Before, just like atomic add and friend, with the exception that they return the new value of the atomic other than true false. It will return the new value of the atomic variable. After adding I to V, V will be updated and the updated value of V will be returned back. So like these four operations also work in atomic. Okay. Atomic underscore key data item must be accessed only through these functions which I have explained to you. How many functions are there in total? Atomic set, atomic read, atomic add, atomic subtract, increment, decrement, increment test, subtract test, then add negative, then these four, 1, 2, 3, total 14 operations are there. 14 type of data manipulation or testing operations are there on the atomic operation. These are more than sufficient. Okay. If you pass an atomic item to a function as an argument, atomic underscore t variable is passed as an argument to a function or returned as an argument to a function. If you're passing as an atomic underscore t, then accept as an atomic underscore t, don't accept as integer. Okay, you will get compiler error. Okay. So 2 more, 16, atomic subtract and atomic add. Now this is the atomic variable from where you subtract this value or add this value. Okay. Now suppose these two things are done together. There are two threads running. One is doing atomic subtract and atomic add together. Now operation has to be done atomically in this thread, okay, atomically in this thread also. But both the thread can work on it at the same time together simultaneously also. So one will increment, one other will decrement, there will be race condition. There is a period of time where the amount has been subtracted from the first atomic variable but not yet added to the second. Okay. If that state of affairs could create trouble for that code, we will need some kind of locking. So what I'm trying to say is, we are making variables atomic, that's fine, but we are not making them secure. No, we are not making them synchronized. We are making them atomic, but we'll still need to synchronize access to them. And the amount or the first atomic amount or the second atomic variables could be shared variables, and the code attempting to manipulate these could be critical region. So you have to use semaphore or spin lock or completion or blocking IO, whatever, to secure the data in this. Okay, let's have a look at one example how we have implemented this. Atomic variables. Have a look at this. We will use atomic.h header file in headers.h. Headers.h header file, you will use atomic.h. Declare. Include the atomic.h header file. Okay. This was the first step. Then after that, you will go to the declarations. Declarations.h, in which you will declare the atomic variables. Look at the way we have declared it. I have made, inside struct dev, I have made the data size as atomic variable. Okay, only one element. The data size inside struct dev, we have made atomic, and not everything. No. Because data size is one variable that will be manipulated and changed by read, write, trim, everybody, isn't it? So it is one of the shared variables, and it must be accessed in a very atomic manner. So I have chosen the data size to be atomic. To be made atomic for understanding inside your code. हो सकता है, क्या जरूरत है, पूरा स्ट्रक्चर एटॉमिक करोगे तो बहुत लेंदी हो जाएगा, है ना, बहुत लेंदी हो जाएगा. तो मैंने डेटा साइज को एटॉमिक कर दिया. ठीक है. See, you are the architect. You are writing your driver. You can make anything atomic. Now, in the initialization, when inside struct dev, we are setting up the data size, then it must be done in an atomic manner. In the init function, when you manipulate the data size, you must manipulate the data size inside struct dev being assigned to the global variable data size using atomic set. You can't use assignment operator for assigning atomic variables. You have to use always the given macros. Here, the atomic variable is set to a value using atomic underscore set call. Okay, can't be done directly. Now the data size is set. That's all. Let us go to the write function. In write dev, in write underscore dev.c, you will write the data. If when the data is written successfully, then towards the end of the write operation, you will change the data size using atomic underscore set. You will change it to number of bytes that you have written successfully, number of characters written successfully. Cannot use that, and there is no other provision. I mean, it is not advisable to do atomic operation on a big data. You can't do that, you know. The bigger the data, the difficult will be to compile it into a single machine cycle. Okay. No, actually there is no standardization, you know, but still I see that all the architectures use the same call. The only difference is slight difference of the NDNS is a issue, but it works well for all the architectures. It simply do one thing. First it checks, was the compiler able to compile it into a single machine cycle? Yes, no. If yes, then no need to do anything, just execute it. If the compiler was not able to compile it into a single machine cycle, then it will disable interruption on the current core of the CPU and then execute the instruction and then enable the interruption back. That is what do, and nothing other than that. It's very simple and straight. And these are macros. These are provided initially these were provided by Unix, but now imported in all the operating systems. These are macros which are part of operating system. So these instructions are not part of ISA for any processor. These instructions are part of operating systems and provided by the operating system and used by the processor, imported into ISAs. All the ISAs that you use right from the beginning, from 4-bit to today's 128-bit, all the processors ISA have capability to import certain instructions from the kernel symbol table, operating system symbol table. Okay. Now let us try to run this. I am building my driver. Driver build is successful. So the driver is created and 238 inserted, and the 238 is the major number 238, and then it is listed in the device table 238 right at the top, and then the node 238,0 is also created, and then it says the writer compiled, reader compiled successfully, hold the script and run another application in another tab. We will run the applications, we will run the writer. Node has to be accessed. File opened successfully for writing, FD is equal to 3, wrote 249 bytes. Big data. Now we run the reader. Read from the node. It read only one quantum, read 10 bytes. mlogic E. Do you want to read more? 1. embedded, read mode, no. So I'm reading like this, and have a look at what happened inside the kernel. We are updating the L of course, number of characters successfully written 249, isn't it? So if we are updating the data size, did you notice that? Huh? So we have used data size in this, updated the data size after every write, and it's working fine. So atomicity, making the variables atomic, is working here. This is garbage because we are printing the quantums. So EMBL, quantum size is only 4 bytes, but after that EMBL there is no end of string, so it is printing until it gets end of string. So we're not printing the data size, but yeah, the reader is able to say that it is able to read certain number of bytes only because it is seeing the data size. Okay, so atomicity works like this. Okay, and we can just print it and display it to here, but I'm not doing that. No, it is not getting demonstrated because now we have not printed anything. That we will be able to see later on block driver. But yes, this is how you will implement atomicity, and I have given everything to you here. Okay, this is how you will implement atomic variables, not atomic operations, atomic variables, right? So there is another thing that I would like to touch here. If you have time, we don't have much time though, so I'll take it up in the next class, not today.